So welcome back to Girls Team Ahead. In this session, we are going to learn a little bit about what it means to be a firefighter paramedic and talk to Amanda Craigen with the Newark Division of Fire.
Hi.
So can you tell us a little bit about what it means to be a firefighter, to be a paramedic, the combination of that role? What's a day in your life look like?
A day in the life on shift. So first of all, we work 24-hour shifts. You come to work at 8 in the morning and get off at 8 the next morning. So 24 hours on, 48 hours off. You come in the morning, get passed down from the off-going crew, anything that's going on with the trucks or anything interesting that happened. And then we drink coffee.
Very important.
Yes, it is. And then we'll check our trucks. So truck checks involve on the ambulances, making sure all of our medical equipment is accounted for. Our drugs, our narcotics are accounted for, and we have everything that we need. And then checking on your fire trucks, we do carry medical equipment on the fire trucks as well. But then we're also checking for the other life-saving equipment that we use and making sure everything is operational to be out in the community taking calls all day. So after that, or sometimes during that, whenever the tones go off, we get a run, and whatever that run could be a sick person or it could be a structure fire, whatever it is, we respond in the appropriate vehicle. And everyone has a truck assignment for the day, so you know where you're supposed to be. So if you're on the medic and they call for a sick person, you go to that call. And so most of either on the fire or the EMS side is showing up at someone's house or wherever that person may be and figuring out what is wrong and what you can do to help. So it's a lot of problem solving every day.
You certainly have a full day every day. It sounds like that you get to do a lot of different things.
Yes.
And never have downtime necessarily.
We do sometimes. We have some downtime, usually because we're living together for those 24 hours. We cook. Some shifts have better cooks than others, so we'll cook and eat together, but we can be sitting in the middle of eating dinner and a call comes in, you have to just get up and take it. Same with sleep. You can sleep at night, but again, when those tones go off, you have to get up. So you can go from being asleep to getting dressed in your turnout gear and being on the scene of a structure fire within minutes, or being asleep and trying to restart someone's heart just a few minutes later. So it's very, you have to be very on your toes when you're at the firehouse.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are. You are currently a firefighter paramedic. What's happened along your your education or career path that maybe led you down to working at the Newark Division of Fire?
So I was in the Marine Corps. I graduated high school from Newark High School, and I joined the Marine Corps right after I graduated. And I served for 10 years. I worked on F-18s. I worked on avionics systems on F-18s. Very cool job. But then I decided to get out after 10 years and started going to college and was kind of like feeling like something was missing after the military. The military is a very structured environment, and the camaraderie. And a guy that I used to serve with is actually a firefighter paramedic now. And I just called him up one day and said, "Hey, talk to me about what you do." And he just told me, like, do it. Just do it. Like, you'll love it. Just start taking, you're getting into your training and everything. So with that conversation, I enrolled in EMT school, and then I went to fire school, and then paramedic school. So it's a couple years worth of education, and I haven't regretted it at all. But it was just that sense of hey, something's kind of missing, and I really enjoy having like a purpose to my work, and I can't really think of a better purpose than being out in your community and helping your people.
No, it definitely seems like you found your calling for sure, as you've added all those years of experience on and learned about what you do. what would be your recommendation to somebody who wants to start thinking about that? Would you think the same path that you took? Are you thinking, is it something to dive into right away if this is something that you're interested in, or are there other experiences that you think could be valuable for somebody maybe straight out of high school that is looking at this as a career field?
So I think either way, whether you're straight out of high school or you're a little older, this is a fantastic career to get into. Sometimes, when you're a little older, you have a little bit more variety of experience, so that can be helpful with certain things, but this is very much a young, I advise people, like, yes, get into it while you're young, because the training is very demanding on your time. So if you are young and don't have a lot of responsibilities, I would say do your training at that point. It is possible to do it when you're older and you have responsibilities. I went to paramedic school with a 2-year-old. It was very difficult, but I did it, but it just takes a lot more planning and discipline and things to get that done while you're parenting small children. So either way, though, you're going to be looking at about 2 to 2.5 years of education, depending on, there's different programs that you can go through. So you have to be able to dedicate a couple years to just getting your certifications and your training, and then the learning does not stop. Once that happens, I learn something new every day I come to work. So
yeah, I think you just being with your crew and on every call that you go out on, there's always a possibility of a new experience that you can learn something from. And I know that you mentioned earlier too that the crew that you work with has a variety of levels of experience, right? So you have some firefighters that have been in the field for a long time and others that are new. Care to share anything about whether it is a field that is going to be looking to replace a lot of jobs soon?
So there are a lot of firefighters right now that are nearing that retirement age. Typically for us, about 25 years of service is what you would be looking at. Now, in order to retire, you have to have an age and years of service combination. But in the Central Ohio area, there are a lot of people looking to retire. So, and unfortunately, while we can't replace their experience level, we need to replace them with people that are willing to go out there and get that experience. It's tough to lose the older generation because they know, they've seen it all, done it all, but we definitely need motivated younger people to kind of step in and say, hey, like, this is something I'm willing to do for the community.
Definitely, and I think that you could say it's not even just a next couple years, it's kind of probably over the next 15 years you're looking at really needing to draw in a new class of firefighters and paramedics to help maintain the level of service that we have in our communities. So let's talk about that. There could be somebody who in 15 years will be maybe considering starting that path. What can we do now to interest them, or experiences that even younger youth might be able to have to expose them to community, community careers like this?
I would say anytime there's an event at your local firehouse, a lot of times during Fire Prevention Week, firehouses will have like open houses or touch a truck events, even for small children, just to go in and kind of get that exposure. Different departments might let you, as a student, ride along. Like if you're just a high school student, maybe looking to get into this, you might be able to ride along as an observer. And I would say just ask questions. There's a lot of information out there, and stay out of trouble.
Always good advice.
You have to. So in order to do this job, you have to be able to pass a background check and things like that. So when you're out there making decisions in your younger years, definitely keep that in mind. If you want this type of career, you have to have a good, clean record.
So another thing that sometimes we hear about in these interviews are kind of those moments that stick out to you as either representation of why you do what you do, or something that really reinforced it or drew you into this. Are there any experiences that you've had in your role that you can say, this is why I am a firefighter paramedic, or this was an experience that really solidified or cemented your trajectory across your years of education and into your years of experience?
There's quite a few. There are times when, if you think about it, we have such a trust within the community, and people trust you to come into their home and make decisions for them and things like that. And I don't know of any. I am a mother. I wouldn't just hand my child to a stranger. You will have mothers hand you their child. They don't know you from anybody. A mother will hand you her child and say, "Fix it, help me," and that's a pretty big deal. Other things that when you encounter people in bad situations, sometimes we don't always know the outcome of some calls as far as a medical, but when you hear back maybe from that hospital that you took the patient to that, hey, they're doing okay, they're expected to make a full recovery, or even better, when they walk into the firehouse, when maybe you had to cut somebody out of a car, or somebody was having a really pertinent medical emergency and you had to, you didn't know how it was going to go, and a few months later or whatever, they walk into the firehouse and they're talking to you and doing a lot better than where you found them, is really, really awesome to see. And then on the fire side, people losing their possessions in a fire is very unfortunate, and it's sad. So when we can save as much as we can of that property or that person's belongings, it is very rewarding to be able to do that, even if it's just family photo albums or pets or anything like that. They had an unfortunate event, we can give them something that's important to them. So that's a very wonderful part of the job.
Yeah, I think, you get to see and help people in some of the worst times of their lives, and the fact that you can help and have that impact, I know, has such a positive experience, or puts a positive twist on everything that you do with the public. So definitely. Any other things that you think, hey, if maybe it was when you were in high school before you went on your path to becoming a firefighter or paramedic, maybe it was while you were in the military or something else, but advice that you heard or advice that you wish you had heard that kind of helped you along your way that we could share with youth today?
So one thing that the Marine Corps instilled in me is to not give up. That you will be in some hard circumstances, whether it's physical, mental, emotional. You're going to go through things in life, or if you choose this type of career, you're going to go through things in your training that are just hard. Your body's tired, your mind is tired. You see some things that are difficult emotionally, but just to never ever give up on yourself. And then the other part to that is taking care of yourself, and if you need help, reaching out and saying, hey, like, I'm struggling with this. Find somebody that's good at whatever it is you're struggling with, and get that help that you need. But then also on the mental health side of things, if there's things that you're struggling with, reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, I need somebody to talk to, or I need some help processing this situation. Because you have to keep yourself, the community expects you to be at 100% all the time, regardless of what's going on in your life or that last call that you just took. You have to show up ready to go, and that's what they expect of you. So taking care of yourself and making yourself a priority is the best way to make that happen.
Thank you. And thank you as well. So thanks for sharing your story. Thank you for all of the great advice. but also just thank you for being, you know, a representative for women in STEM, women firefighters everywhere, and part of our community of firefighters. So make sure you go back to your firehouse and share the gratitude of our community for everything that they do. And for all of our viewers, we will be sharing more information about Amanda and the career path that she has chosen, as well as other ones that we feature on Girls Team Ahead. So we'll see you next time.